Hey guys, what's going on? So I was going to talk about oh my god, I don't even have it. Okay. I was gonna do a different video, but I'm going to do this one instead. So I was gonna talk about tournament. For the last 3 days, I actually made a day. I actually recorded a video first day on drought. And then I just never posted it. And then I was going to make another one the next day with Extremum. And then I just didn't. And then today it was corners. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to talk about that. Or I don't want to do videos about that. Because you don't need to watch me play Blade Dancer. I trust that that's uninteresting. So instead, I would rather talk about this. So if you don't know, the Facebook Rush Royale, you can go on there even if you don't have a Facebook account, and they post all of their updates. You can also join the Discord, but joining the Discord means you have to download Discord, and there's a lot of updates to Discord, and Facebook posts it anyway, and it's free because it's a web page. You don't have to utilize your phone data. But they posted a new thing for Rush. And it's something that I really wanted to talk about. And this is on brand for me. I just like talking at length about things more than I like, showcasing like gameplay. Because when I start to do gameplay, I lose trains of thought. And I trust that you've watched enough videos of mine where I start a thought while playing, and then I either misplay or I lose whatever I was saying. But anyway, I would rather talk about this. So they finally decided to nerf Shaman and Witch. Witch is a pretty big nerf because you couldn't make it better. But Shaman, I don't know. I kind of like the changes. It fixes a lot of problems. Even if it doesn't feel like it does, I think it fixes more problems than, people are going to complain about it anyway. But I think it fixes a big problem that Shaman had. So the projectile speed will be made faster than now, but the hit effect will not be instant. So how that reads is right now, if you saw my Shaman video, I made Shaman got nerfed so hard because it did. You have so much reaction time to Portal Keeper your Shaman, or to merge out what the Shaman is going to hit. I like, what's funny is they did that for PvP, but in co-op it's still the same speed. But in PvP, Shaman became unplayable. It was just so slow that nothing mattered. Now it is going to be faster, but the effect won't be instant, which means that it's going to linger. And it says that it'll weaken it for 4 to 5 seconds. After, the unit will lose 1 merge rank or gain 1 in PvE, so that's still the same. So for 4 to 5 seconds, it will weaken it, then kill it. So you have a 5-second reaction time to do something anyway after it hits it. And also, there's a chance, depending on the level of the Shaman, that 2 merge ranks can be lost or gained. That is humongous. That means that late game, your Shaman hits will still be huge. A lot of people like to run an Inquisitor deck. And once they get to level 7 Inquisitor, they just kind of sit there on infinite mana. And then you can... if a Shaman hits an Inquisitor and it goes down to 6, you can just scrap her away and then, regain that 1 level. And so late game, Shaman loses its effectiveness because there's just too many things on the field. You're sacrificing 2 of your units to kill or to merge down 1 of theirs, theoretically. Because if they merge it out, then you're just sacrificing 2 units to do literal nothing. And if you do hit it, you're sacrificing 2 units to make 1 of theirs 1 less. So you're actually behind in mana and you're behind in count. So even if you do it correctly, it's why you can't immediately kill somebody at the beginning of the game. Like it's kind of, you have to build the no-win deck around it, because for every one unit they're summoning, you have to summon in 2 units of shamans to theoretically kill one. So, like, even in the initial, like, 4 units, you'd have to summon in 8 units just to take down those 4. But now, if it loses 2 units sometimes, that's huge. And that's something that I thought talents would do to it. But they're just going to do it as just a straight, that's what happens. And I think that's huge. If the unit is moved with Portal Keeper or merged to another, then the effect disappears without consequence as it was before. And so then they explain why they did this. Those who use Shaman will have the opportunity to weaken the enemy more as the units level up, which is what I just stated. As the game goes on, Shaman becomes less effective. But if it loses 2 ranks, then that's huge. Those who use other decks will have more time to react and move the unit away from the attack. And the base problem that I think this solves is this next one. According to the game's technical aspect, high ping problems will also be significantly reduced. So, what this means is when your opponent tries to shaman lag you out of the game, where, they do a shaman and then they purposely use their speed of their internet to be slower. I think people were doing like 2G internet, setting their like internet to 2G so that your thing has to catch up to their thing so they can automatically do something. Your screen would lag out. And then when it would come back, that's when you would get hit with the shaman. Or it would catch up to where they were in the game and you would have no reaction time. Now, if you hit the opponent, it's going to sit there for 4 to 5 seconds. Meaning that they will have to be back in the game by then, and then you'll have the reaction time to be able to switch it, and it pretty much eliminates that problem, which I think is really good. And if you were going, so like the obvious question or the obvious like complaint that I can already see is that people are going to be like, well, it's 4 to 5 seconds, so it's basically like it is what it is now. Like, you have just so much reaction time. The thing about that is they were never going to be able to fix that. In fact, most competent players that have portal keepers, you can technically, if you had in its original state, you could technically have enough reaction time to portal keeper something away. Like, you had that reaction time. At which point, people decided to hold shamans and send all the shamans at the same time, decreasing your reaction rate. But a skilled player could do it anyway, and so that technically didn't do anything. So what I'm trying to say is, what this does, it puts everybody on an even playing field, as well as if you do want to play shaman, weakening a unit is kind of okay. But especially if you have the flat chance, no talents, to double level something down, that's huge. And I think that's really big late game. It's really, really big early game. And I think those are all good changes. If you were going to portal keeper something, you were probably going to portal keeper it anyway. But in this state, I don't think it's unplayable. I think even with the chance of double downing a unit, I think Shaman now becomes playable. Witch. A unit that is affected by the Witch will start healing monsters with a certain probability. So when your Witch hits something, right now it's 100%. And with a lower healing percent depending on the level the Witch will apply the effect. Current talents will also be looked through and modified to better match the changes. How this reads is every time your Witch hits a thing, right now it heals 100% of the time. I'm assuming that now it will not, it's not that it won't heal all the time, It's that the effect just straight up won't happen all the time. So you could merge a witch, hit a thing, and it doesn't do anything. The effect will still be negative in PvP or positive in dungeons, and the higher the level of the witch, the more she will affect the unit. The effect's power will noticeably weaken. A level 7 witch will no longer remove a significantly higher level unit from the game. At the same time, if you have only one unit for damage, then the impact will be noticeable, and if there are a lot of such units on the field, then the impact of the effect will be much lower. Meaning that just because they hit your high level thing doesn't mean you automatically lose. So I think I actually just played a game. It was just a Blade Dancer game, and they actually hit both of my high level my Blade Dancers. Like, I think they hit a 5 and a 4, but I had enough happening with the rest of my board that it didn't even matter, and I still ended up winning that game. So I don't know if some of these changes are in the game now, but I did notice that even though it hit a 5 and a 4, I didn't feel like I was automatically going to lose. And that is the biggest problem with Witch. It's that if it hits anything, you feel like you'll lose. And so now it will sometimes not even work. And when it does work, the other person won't feel like they automatically lose, which is the most prevalent thing about Witch. It was an automatic win condition if it hit something important, and now it's not going to be as game breaking. Just moving forward to this last point, it said all new talents planned in the next update. No, so that's kind of disappointing. But they do mention these other units that they're going to change. Grindstone, Portal Keeper, Demon Hunter, Blade Dancer, Trapper. So usually how this works, if the unit is powerful in its current state, it's gonna get a nerf. And if the unit is not even played, it's probably gonna get a buff. So Grindstone is gonna get a buff. I assume Portal Keeper is gonna get weaker. Demon Hunter is probably gonna get a nerf. Blade Dancer is probably gonna get a nerf. And then Trapper is probably gonna get stronger. That's just my own thoughts. I don't know. It might go either way, and I'm really excited. Even if they don't do new talents, I'm really excited to see those changes. Like, what are you going to do to Grindstone? Grindstone and Banner are pretty much not even played if you have a Knight statue. I think Banner gets a little bit more play in like a Corsair deck, because the Corsair deck doesn't want to deal with the Knight statue numbers. So Grindstone or Banner is just easier, but Grindstone is pretty much unplayable. Portal Keeper, if you've ever seen my tier list, I think that it is the best unit in the game. So I'm really excited to see what they decide to change with it. It's a very simple card that does way too many things. So maybe they'll make it switch units. They obviously stated during Shaman that it'll if a unit is moved with the Portal Keeper or merged to another, then the effect disappears without consequence. But there's a part of me that wonders if it's gonna protect still, because the protection that it gives you, and the amount of things that it can do with that protection, it's bigger than it feels like it should be. Like, it should play against Shaman and Witch, but I don't know if it should play against Tribunal, Bedlam, Warlock, Virus, Assassin. Even if you get puppeteered, you can move it back. Like, it protects against every single boss. And I don't know if they would want that. So I feel like if it got a nerf, they would nerf it against bosses. It can still get affected by bosses. Demon Hunter, dude, this would be like the 4th or 5th time that they've changed Demon Hunter. Blade Dancer, I don't know what they could possibly do to Blade Dancer. I feel like they could change the damage and make it in line with other units, and make it weaker. Because, like, what if other people are using Wind Archer? They should have the same power. I don't know. It's a legendary unit that deals damage. Maybe they could change the attack speed. Because I think in its current form, the attack speed is overly good. And that's why it's so good. It's one of the only units where even if you just have one Blade Dancer in your first round, you can pretty much pass the round without even leveling up the Blade Dancer. Like that's how quickly it attacks and how much damage it inflicts. Pretzel Thrower, which is Trapper. Trapper will always be Pretzel Thrower. They obviously have to buff that. There's no way that's getting a nerf or anything. Nobody uses it. I don't know, like maybe it like throws two like pretzels now or something. I don't know. I'm excited for the changes in those units. I am excited to see how much Witch works. Like if people are still gonna play it, or if it's just gonna disappear and it's just gonna be like it's a great co-op card. If you get level 9 and you have the talent to level up co-op. I think it's really good. And then I'm excited to see what Shaman does and what percentage of units that it hits will get double downed or double upped. Dude, double up is going to be insane in co-op. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that and bring attention to the Facebook Rush Royale. Because if you ever want to like be up to date on all of the Rush Royale news, but you don't want to download the 1 gig file of Discord, just go on the Facebook. It's totally easy. I'll talk to you guys later.